We're a sustainability retrofit contracting firm. For the most part, we take existing buildings and we make them more sustainable in that way which is the most cost effective. Information technology is basically the gatekeeper of that process. I'm a contractor, right? I have a very limited extent to which I can control human behavior.
Right.
I have much more ability to create a building that essentially doesn't care how badly or well its people are behaving, how conscious they are of their electricity consumption, or how oblivious they are to it, right? I think from the point of view of a contractor, it makes more sense to embrace methods that say it doesn't matter. If your people don't care about electricity, they don't think about electricity, it doesn't matter. We've retrofit the building in such a way that people can act normally, work normally, focus on your core business, right? But nevertheless work and live in a more sustainable, more healthy building in which they will be more productive. Ideally, you'd want to be able to model the building in an advanced program that will allow you to make changes in the program and know what the outcomes of those changes would be under a variety of different conditions and scenarios. Understanding what's happening and understanding the rate codes in the region that you're in well enough, right? And also, if possible, looking forward and predicting when you're going to need to turn on your air conditioning systems to achieve optimal building health and comfort, right? So that you can actually almost begin to predict what you're going to need to do and start planning on when and how you use energy is the most cost-effective building management technology that exists at this time.
What would you do under this emerging Title 24? How will you shape your customer message?
I think the answer is I would go to these companies and say, look, this is an opportunity, right? There's nothing that you could do with the money from your business, including investing it in your own operations, that'll have a higher internal rate of return than improving the sustainability of your building. And it's along two very important axes. One thing that you can do is reduce your consumption of utilities, which has a very predictable and very clear savings. Mm-hmm. In point of fact, the true benefit of sustainability is that it makes buildings better. From the point of view of the occupants and the workers there, it creates healthier working environments where people's brains function better.
You're improving productivity.
Yes. If you look at the productivity of an employee in a building which is rationally and sustainably designed, mm-hmm. that person is 10 to 16% more productive than their competitors in a building where they're working under fluorescent light with poor air quality. To me, it's not a huge intuitive leap that somebody with clean air and daylight is going to be more productive, but let's say that you're not buying it, right? And you're the guy on the other end of the table, and your only priority is to conform to the damn Title 24 requirements that are imposed upon you by the government, right? And you're listening to some guy like me go, oh, your employees are going to be so much happier, and they're going to have fewer sick days, and your tenants are going to have, 20% higher retention, and you're going to be able to charge more for rent, and yada, yada, yada. And I'm going on and on and on about the benefits of sustainability. And you're asking me, what's the bottom line? How much does it cost me?
Right.
The amazing part of the answer is you're paying to avoid these benefits, right? When you're buying utilities from your local utility provider, you're paying 20 to 60% more on a monthly basis to run your building the way that it is now and have unhappy, sick, unproductive employees, as opposed to saving money each month, month after month, right, to have employees that are functioning better and are happier and have better retention, so on and so forth. So in point of fact, if you look at the monthly cost, if you look at the cost of energy over time, being sustainable is about half the price of being unsustainable.
Does Title 24 increase the sales pie for contractors selling efficiency and sustainability solutions, or does it make it more difficult?
It increases it, but only if you're sophisticated.
Tell me about that.
Unsophisticated actors are not going to be able to exist in the regulated environment of the future, because it's not enough to know your stuff and have useful rules of thumb and be able to sort of wave your arms and say vaguely what you're achieving. You're going to have to be able to quantify what you're talking about. You're going to have to be able to quantify buildings, and you're going to have to be able to quantify outcomes.
Right.
And also, furthermore, you're going to have to be able to show that not only did you achieve desirable outcomes in your previous projects, but you're going to have to be able to show that you predicted accurately what those outcomes would be. Right? Because nobody cares if you can take a building which is grossly inefficient, do the obvious, and get something better. What they want to know is that you can take their building, which is here, and get it to exactly here for exactly this much money. And if you can't show that you can predict what the outcome of your project is going to be, even if you're completely competent, nobody cares.
Right.
Because nobody wants to spend more money on this than they have to. I think the only contractors that are ultimately going to survive into the mid-21st century are going to be the ones that embrace the idea that information management, its collection, its parsing, its analysis, and its successful redeployment to create predictable outcomes, right? Those companies are going to make it.
Right.
Companies that can't understand that people are going to expect that level of insight are not going to survive in the business environment of the 21st century.